Hey guys, my name is Zach. I hope you guys had a good holiday. Today we're going to work on a Rubble base for a Diamond Select Gipsy Avenger from Pacific Rim Uprising. So we're going to start with our wooden base, and we've glued a crotch grabber to this base with super glue. And we're then going to add some PVA glue to the base. This is just regular white glue that you might find at like a Walmart or whatever. It's nothing special. But we're going to apply this fairly generously, and you can see here I'm just making sure I get all the a good amount of the surface done. We're going to use this to adhere some sand to this base, and that will basically be the rubble texture. So once we have all the glue applied, we can't leave it like this. If we do, we won't get an even coverage of the rocks. So I'm going to go in here with a paintbrush and begin sort of painting the glue onto the wooden base. You want to be careful with the edges, keep it nice and clean, and as soon as you're done, I highly recommend washing your brush so that you can reuse it for future projects. And this is a sample of the rubble that I use. It's just stuff that I've collected over the years from different bases that I've made. And you can see here that it's fairly well covered on the base. And then we're going to go in here with some Mecha Black primer and quickly airbrush that on. You could use an aerosol, and that actually might be a little bit better, just because I feel like you're getting more paint on there, and it sort of helps adhere everything to the base. We're then going to use apple barrel pavement to give the base a coat, and then we're going to come in here with our dry brush color and lightly sponge this on. You'll see that I removed a few small pieces of rubble with my first pass, but now that I've realized that I can't be too firm with this, I'm going to basically splotch this on. And essentially what you're doing is you're painting the raised surfaces of the rubble with this lighter gray color, and you're leaving the pavement and black in the recesses. And what that gives you is a really nice effect. This is basically a technique called dry brushing. You can do this on 6 scale weapons. You can do this on armor. You can pretty much do this for anything custom related that you want to weather. And this will pick up the detail really nicely. I chose not to go with a bristle brush here because I didn't have a brush that was this wide. And I wanted to be able to do this in as minimal passes as possible so that I could reduce the damage from potentially removing rocks and exposing the wooden surface underneath. And this worked fairly well. Like I said, there was a few small bits of rubble that came off, and those were easily touched up with our pavement color. I was really happy with how this base turned out, and here's my touching up right here of the pavement. But I was really happy with how this base turned out. It really didn't take that long. You probably want to let the rubble dry on the base for an hour, and then once you're done with that, start priming. Again, aerosol priming works really well here because you're just putting so much paint on the base that it really kind of helps keep everything in place. With the airbrush, it's pretty minimal, and that's why I did have some rubble that removed. But yeah, I'm just going here on the base and making sure that everything is nice and dry brushed. You don't want to be too heavy with this. You could definitely get to the point where you're starting to paint inside those recesses. So less is more here, and you can see after a few minutes I'm pretty much done. Here's Gypsy on the base. This is a really nice figure. It's Diamond Select. It's like 8 inches tall, and my only problem was it kept falling, and it took 2 shelf dives, and I broke one of the fins off, and I had to glue it back. But with this base, I don't have to worry about it, and it'll look great displayed alongside my other kaiju. Thanks for watching. Hope you learned something. Bye.